Our players really, I thought, played pretty well. They played hard again. They've given it, every single week, and it was a focus. It was a challenge. They were, a decent rushing football team, and I think our guys responded pretty well. They executed pretty well. If it wasn't for, a couple, we call them one-man busts, we gave them some stuff early on that, we didn't execute as well as we should have. But, for the most part, our guys just played hard.
How bad did you want that shutout?
You always want it, but it was nice to. Sometimes you can't control it, and you're more, excited for some of the younger guys to get in and get some experience and learn to mistakes. And that's part of the process is growing as a football program. Those guys get some reps, and it benefits you down the road.
Give you a little extra jolt whenever, like at the end of the game, your twos and threes, keep them out of the end zone there, the way they did there.
Yeah, I thought it was a great job when we had the fumble off the punt, and our guys responded with stopping them there and holding them to a field goal. That was nice to see. It gives you a little bit of confidence that that some of the down the line players are going to be able to execute for you, hopefully in the future. And the guys that played a lot, got excited for them to get an opportunity. They were pretty pumped up on the sideline. So it was a pretty good day.
You're creeping there. Your team is creeping near the sack record, which is 30 and a half. You guys have 27 now, I believe. Speak a little bit about the defensive line depth you got this year from Andrew to Dillon to Jabor. All those guys. How are they coming together as a unit?
I think they complement each other pretty well. We've got a little bit of depth, and we've got some size when we need to have some size with teams that are going to try to run the football, and we've got some guys that have a little bit of juice off the edge, some explosiveness that helps you get after the passer, and so I think they're starting to develop a little bit of chemistry, and they know their role now, and they're kind of settled in, and so they're working at it pretty good. And Coach Roberts has done a great job with them this season, just on developing them as a group, as a unit.
Coach Monken has talked about playing the perfect game and that you guys haven't played it yet, but on defense, they've completed one pass in the first half. Is that about as close as it gets?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. Sometimes you're never as good as you think, and you're never as bad as you think. And when you go back and you look at the tapes, that's a catchphrase that Coach is always using. It's so true. When they had some guys that had some drop balls and things like that, and we didn't execute as well as we would have liked to on some early calls, and but for the most part, they played pretty well, and they're playing with confidence now, and and they're running to the football, and that creates depth to your defenses. So long as they keep doing that, we'll have a chance. The next 2 weeks here.
Coach, kind of looking ahead to this Old Dominion team, can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you've seen on film that they seem to do well and that are going to be an area of emphasis for you this week?
Well, I think they've started to, play with a little bit more confidence. They've made the quarterback change with Washington. They seem to settled in on him, and he seems to be making them go. Lowry, the running back, is, he's the second leading rusher in the conference right now. And if you watch him, he's pretty talented. And, and they do some things schematically that are challenging. I know Bobby Wilder from way back in Maine, and when I was at the University of New Hampshire, and he always does a great job preparing his team and causes you problems and makes you defend the whole field defensively. So, so again, it's another challenge. Anytime you're quarterback and you have the ability to run and throw option, it causes you problems, and you got to be disciplined with your assignments, and and our guys understand that, and hopefully we can get them to understand exactly what they're doing and challenging schematically and get them dialed up.
So right before I came in here, Lowry's out this week. They ruled him out. How much do you know about their backups?
We've seen them run a little bit. I don't know a whole lot right now, Jason. I watch them. I think they're solid. I don't think, but I didn't hear that with Lowry. I know he had a banged up foot, but the latest report I received was he's probably going to play. But,
I guess Wilder told the press today he would know.
Okay, I didn't know that. So, but that's they still do, they've had a couple other guys that have had reps and are playing action, so we'll see.
How do you handle a situation like that where the player you're reviewing, let's say, heavily may not even play? Do you just look at their scheme, or do you look at just
I think a lot of it, what you do, first thing is you see what they're good at, and then you're evaluating scheme, and there's a lot of carryover in scheme, and it's fits. What you do defensively, you might have to tweak it here and there, and you might come up with something else. Set your fronts different ways, play different coverage structures. It's really looking at what they do schematically first. That's how I approach it, and then you look at, okay, now who do we really have to stop and dial in with what you do schematically. You figure out schematically, and then you dial it in from there. It's still a long way. Monday's a big day for us. Sunday night, Monday's a big days for us, and we got a lot of work left to do.
schematically, what did you guys do so well that you prepared for in this race?
I thought our players executed. They're a big look team. They want to get in the perfect call, and and that's part of the process of what we worked on last season. Coming out of it is teams that are going to be tempo, teams that are going to be changing the call at the line of scrimmage, and that's challenging when you want to show disguises and you say, all right, show this look and then get back out and play this other look. Well, sometimes against look teams that's not as easy, and tempo teams the guys get antsy, and so we try to show the same look all the time. And we emphasize that this week, and our guys did a great job of holding it and trying to sense when the call was actually coming. And we held a couple third down blitzes that worked to a T really. Daenerys Antoine hit the quarterback early and held it like they looked twice, and he just felt confident in the feel of what the cadence was, and came down and executed pretty well. So, that was a big part of what the plan was, and and they did a good job of dialing them in and knowing what they were going to get. They worked at it. We had 2 weeks to prepare, so that was kind of nice for our players. They felt pretty comfortable with what they were getting.
What do you think of 6 sacks, and how does that compare to other games in your coaching career?
It's pretty nice. Anytime you can get after them that much, and like I said, our guys, JR, Coach Roberts has done a really good job with them up front, preparing them, and we got some guys that can run a little bit and have talent to get there, and that makes it nice. And we've had Daenerys Antoine, and we've got to him a little bit on blitzes and things like that he's helped us a lot too as well. So it's kind of nice when you can usually dial up stuff and they have a chance to get home, so that's kind of a nice feeling.
Where do you think that style of straight up defensive assignment football kind of stemmed from, where you don't like to disguise things, you just want to set your best defense and let the opponent know what we're running, and then we just let the athletes play?
I don't think we
Where does it stem from that you have that kind of a defensive mentality where you're just going to play straight up?
We don't necessarily going to play straight up. We're going to show you we're going to play straight up, and that's part of a way just to you want to hold the one look as long as you possibly can, so that you're not tipping your hand as to what coverage you're in or where you're rolling to, or what blitz you're going to run out of that. Everything stems from the one look or one base defense that you have. And you're going to play that defense, of course. It might be, one you play more than others, but everything that we do off of that, stems from that one base look, and and it's been pretty productive for us.
Whenever the offense puts up 65, how much freedom does that give you to kind of pin your ears back and do what you want to do on defense?
It makes it's a lot nicer, but sometimes it's harder, because the game plan that you prepare for changes, because offensive teams now start to change what they're doing, and so that makes it, it might sound like it's easier, but sometimes you got to now turn to a different mentality and play calls that you might not have practiced as much during the week as you you normally do. So it's sometimes a little more challenging, honestly.
We kind of talk about your seniors getting one last chance to play here at home this weekend.
Oh, this group has been through a fair amount here the last 2 years, and it's nice, for them to have some success because they've been a great group, and it's, like I said, it's a fun group to be around right now. It really is. I enjoy coming in and spending time with them, and they're a mature group. They like to work at it, and those are the fun groups that you like to coach, and hopefully we can keep it going for a little bit while longer to have this group together. It's a special group, and you don't get around, when you're around those winning teams and those special guys that are, you have those relationships with, and those are pretty good times, and hopefully you can keep them going for a while because they don't come around that often, and you enjoy them when they're here.